Nigeria seeks enhanced partnerships towards addressing humanitarian and migration crisis.
So I'm quite glad with your initiative for a much more pragmatic and all-inclusive solution.
Regional Development Ministry takes steps to reduce social unrest, hands over Youth Development Center.
We see you managing this and put it into effective use. We warrant maybe to ask you to take over one other place, of course we are one government.
Head of Service kicks off Civil Service Week 2025 with focus on innovation and reforms.
The transformation we seek must begin here within our walls.
And on security, police deployed tactical teams to Benue following presidential order to restore peace. Good evening and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I'm Lami Ali. Tonight's top stories are coming your way with Hinginu John Adams bringing you the latest from Lagos, where the action never stops. Maria Adu Zakari with the business buzz, keeping you ahead of the curve. So, Maria, what's new in business?
Well, the Consumer Protection Rights has taken the center, FCCPC, to some visa centers in Abuja.
And of course, Bade Adele, 7 of the sports highlights that will get you adrenaline pumping. Do stay tuned. So, Bade, tell us, what's new from the world of sports?
Well, reactions have been trailing the 2024 WAFCON list of the Super Falcons as action continues at the FIFA Club World Cup.
Stay tuned for that and more. Do endeavor to follow this newscast live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now on X, and our other social handles displayed on the screen. Now, let's get started. A special session was held in Friday's Jummah prayer at the Ansaruddin Mosque, Abuja, in memory of the late Alhaja Abibatu Mogaji, mother of President Bola Tinubu. The president and other top government functionaries attended the prayer. State House correspondent Ms. Baudan Wahab was there.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, some state governors led by their chairman Abdurrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State joined President Tinubu for the special prayer. A day to remember a grassroots mobilizer of repute, Alhaja Bibatu Mogaji, who passed on 12 years ago. This certainly brings a moment of reflection for the president. The chief imam of the mosque, Professor Musa Olaufe, aptly chose a topic for the prayer, the role of a mother in Islam. With sacrifices they make, the Imam described mothers as supportive pillars to their children, as late Abibatu so demonstrated to President Bola Tinubu. He admonished the faithful to value, respect and care for their mothers as prescribed in the teaching of Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him.
Anytime, any day, don't forget that your mother will remain your mother. It's also reported to have encouraged Muslims to marry virtuous women in order to have virtuous children. We are celebrating not a common mother, a woman that is a philanthropist by excellence.
Representatives of various Islamic groups took turns and prayed for the late Alhaja Bibatu Mogaji, President Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and other senior government officials, and indeed for a more peaceful and greater Nigeria in unity.
A leader, amiable, capable, intelligent, full of wisdom, and has given us Ahmed Bola Tinubu with due respect, our president. May I give you peace of mind. May Allah continue to protect you from all evils. May Almighty Allah be there for you all the time. Nigeria will be more greater in your tenure. Nigeria will be more peaceful in your tenure.
Late Alhaja Bibatu Mogaji, a respected grassroots mobilizer, was the Yaloja General till she departed in 2013 at 96. In Abuja, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
The International Organization for Migration has commended Nigeria's significant strides in migration governance and disaster preparedness as Vice President Kashim Shettima called for enhanced partnership to address the humanitarian challenges facing crisis-affected regions across the country. He stated this during a courtesy visit by a delegation from the IOM led by its Chief of Mission in Nigeria, Sharon Dimanche, at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima called for practical and inclusive solutions to the complex intersection of migration, poverty, conflict and ecological disruption. He decried poverty, illiteracy and environmental degradation, fueling displacement and insecurity across several regions, urging the IOM to scale up efforts for gender empowerment and land reclamation efforts, particularly in areas affected by deforestation and displacement.
Challenges of immigration, migration, from climate-induced effects. Even the crisis in the northeast, the northwest, and the north central, there is direct correlation between poverty and violence. So I'm quite glad with your initiative for a much more pragmatic and all-inclusive solution to our challenges.
I would like to request maybe an initiative, a special initiative where we can co-work with your office and see how can we mobilize resources and looking into more durable solutions on innovation, youth empowerment, and climate resilience.
IOM Nigeria Chief of Mission praised Nigeria's ongoing efforts in migration governance and disaster preparedness, noting that the diversity of the country presents both challenges and opportunities for tailored interventions. The inaugural West Africa Economic Summit has officially commenced in Abuja, with regional leaders being urged to revise the ECOWAS protocol on free movement and eliminate non-tariff barriers to unlock the full potential of intra-regional trade. The call was made by Foreign Affairs and Trade and Investment Ministers during the summit's opening ceremony hosted by Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Garba Nata'ala reports.
Nigeria and its neighbors are rewriting the rules of trade, transforming West Africa into the continent's most dynamic economic hub. And as this historic summit reveals, the blueprint hinges on African Continental Free Trade Area to strengthen a single market for goods and services across Africa, boost intra-regional trade, as well as create an efficient digital economy.
Let this summit not be just another meeting, but a turning point, a moment of collective resolve to translate potential into prosperity.
We must support businesses not only to survive, but to grow across borders, and that means investing in infrastructure, ports, logistics corridors, and digital platforms that power seamless trade, access to finance, especially for women and youth-led enterprises.
And they observed that Nigeria's adoption of intra-African air cargo corridor in May has become an enabler to accelerating Nigerian exports.
Some of the provisions of the ECOWAS Treaty, especially the rules of origin clause, that I know very well, is being abused by smugglers. And I'll give you an example. There are smugglers, well-known, well-heeled, well-connected, who bring in palm oil from Asia.
One summit, though, won't fix decades of barriers. But for the first time, West Africa has risen to global uncertainties grappling the continent. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
The newly constructed arterial road N5 or Bafemi Awolowo Way by Life Camp Junction connecting Ring Road 3 has been opened for the motoring public. This follows the inauguration of the project by President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume. Onoze Yakubu has the details.
Inaugurated N5 Obafemi Awolowo Way from the Life Camp Junction connecting Ring Road 3 is a major intercity road that traverses different communities. It is an 8-lane dual carriageway that is being constructed in phases, with the first phase terminating at Dakwe districts.
The arterial road NY starts from the Central Business District, just by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, passes by the NMPC Towers and traverses through Wuse District, just by Wuse Market. That is in phase 1. It continues through Utago and Jabi districts in phase 2, and on to Gwarimpa and Dape districts in phase 3. Future developments will extend the road up to phase 4.
FCT Minister Yesen Wike discloses compensation has been paid to the affected communities, which paved way for smooth construction of the project. He commends President Bola Tinubu and the National Assembly for their support. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, while commending the FCT minister, urges the benefiting communities and other road users to use the road wisely.
Sincerely commend the FCT minister, Barrister Nelson, the entire FCT administration, and the resident and stakeholders who have been integral in this project.
In another development, the FCT minister has interfaced with members of Apple Traders Association and made a public declaration of relocating them to a new site in Wasa. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Now, Minister of Regional Development Abubakar Momo has underscored the importance of practical skills in addressing youth unemployment and reducing social unrest in Nigeria. This was during an event in Abuja marking the symbolic handover of the Skills Acquisition Center in Ondo State to the Ministry of Youth Development. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
The center is one of federal government's interventions in the 9 states of the Niger Delta region, aimed at training the youths on employable skills to curb restiveness in the region. Abubakar Momo is handing over the project to the Minister of Youth Development for proper utilization.
Well, on the request, I can say that the extent to which we see you managing this and put it into effective use, we warrant maybe to ask you to take over one other place, because of course we are one government.
This handover will help in repositioning our youth into productive members of the society.
For the Minister of Youth Development, the gesture is not just a handover of buildings, but transfer of keys to opportunity and dignity for youths in the region.
The transformation of this facility into a national youth camp, not just for a state, will expand the scope of initial purpose to include leadership training, digital innovation, entrepreneurship development, and civic engagement and community service.
With the ceremony over, the parties are optimistic that the center will nurture skilled professionals who can innovate within their communities and beyond. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has appealed to Nigerians to work with government in building more inclusive communities where refugees and internally displaced persons are not just welcomed, but truly embraced and supported. The appeal contained in her message marking this year's World Refugee Day also implores refugees, once supported, to reciprocate by being law-abiding and contribute meaningfully to their host community, while noting that refugees across Nigeria and the world have shown remarkable strength. The First Lady emphasizes that it is often the kindness of neighbors, the open arms of strangers, and the unity of communities that turn survival into hope and hope into healing. You're watching News at 9 on the network service of the NTA. We take a break to bring you. You're welcome back. Delegates from 50 African countries will converge on Abuja Monday, June 23rd, to address challenges affecting small businesses, particularly affordable financing, enhancing digital transformation, and improving market access. Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Hassan Hadija, disclosed this on Friday during a press conference at the presidential villa in Abuja, noting that the goal is to empower small businesses by strengthening policies on MSME development. He called on key players in the small-scale business subsector in Nigeria to leverage the platform provided by the forum to build a new network for investments and market access across Africa and beyond.
The principal objective has always been to empower micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, develop intra-African value chains, and strengthen policies on MSME development through fostering strategic partnerships that will eventually empower MSMEs to thrive on the continent.
This SME summit is our way of showing that it's not just that the small and medium enterprises can thrive here, it's also an indication that there's a progression that Nigeria is doing towards attracting the world to come to Nigeria and do business, and to show that Nigeria is not just that.
The opening ceremony of the event holds on June 23rd at the State House Banquet Hall, Abuja, while the technical meetings and product exhibition will be held at the Abuja Continental Hotel from June 24th to 26th, and the grand finale and MSME Awards will be held at the State House Banquet Hall. Now, the 2025 Nigerian Civil Service Week has kicked off with the inauguration of the remodeled reception and foyer with an exhibition gallery in Abuja. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Esther Walson-Jack, performed the inauguration. Hamad Jabani reports.
And the citizens of Nigeria whom we serve.
The project is widely seen as a strong reminder that infrastructure in the public service goes beyond physical convenience. It is equally about creating an environment that inspires productivity, discipline, and national pride. The exhibition gallery serves as a storytelling space showcasing milestones, achievements, innovation, and history.
The transformation we seek must begin here within our walls, in our processes, in our attitudes, and yes, even in our workplace. The quality of work delivered is a true reflection of excellence, aligning with our vision for a world-class public service environment.
The reception gives you the first impression that the people you are going to meet upstairs are really serious and committed people to serve the nation. It's completely changing the culture, the way we do things in the past, moving it to the future.
So I see this as a dream come true, and we can all agree that that foyer is more welcoming to anybody visiting the office of the head of service.
The remodeled reception and foyer with an exhibition gallery is not just an aesthetic upgrade, it is a strategic investment in image, communication, security, stakeholder engagement, and cultural expression. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Security is one of the cardinal pillars of Babagana Umar Zulum's administration due to the security situation in the northeast, with Borno State being the epicenter of the 15-year security challenge. Mohammed Guni in this special report captures the giant strides made by Governor Zulum's administration in Borno State in the second year of his second term.
In the last 15 years, experienced devastation caused by insurgency. However, with the strategic leadership of Governor Zulum and combined efforts of the military, police, and other security agencies, including the volunteer forces, significant peace has been restored to almost all the local government areas in the state. Since assumption of office nearly 6 years ago, Governor Zulum has consistently invested in security infrastructure, recognizing that a stable environment is key to development. in what could be described as a significant boost to security operations in the state. Governor Zulum, in the second year of his second term in office, procured 299 Toyota Hilux, 70 Land Cruisers, 4 Toyota buses, and 108 Tacoma vehicles for security outposts that includes the military, police, NSCDC, Vigilante, and CJTF, totaling 482 vehicles. The state government also procured assorted security gadgets, equipment, and logistics to the security outfits. Furthermore, the governor's support didn't stop there. In a bid to enhance the welfare of security personnel, he also donated 280 housing units in 3 different locations across Maiduguri. These include 220 units in Maimala Buni Estate, 20 in Kashim Shetima Estate, and 40 at the Wolari Mounted Troop Quarters.
I am super excited for the commissioning of massive operational assets generously donated by the performing governor of this state, His Excellency Professor Babagana Zulum, to security agencies represented in Borno State, and for the enhancement of safety and security of the people of Borno State.
With the recent upsurge in terror attacks in some parts of the state, Governor Zulum continues to prioritize security investments, understanding that long-term development is impossible without sustained stability. He personally led security forces that also include volunteers to resettle New Marte displaced by terror attacks on military formation, strengthen resilience of not only New Marte community, but also Ran, Wulgo, Logomani, Gajibo, and Ajiri communities spread across 5 local government areas.
Nande bare alhamdulillah nande bare ka kalo karangete wendena kende ishena ta alhamdulillah ndulindia ya landia jamindia kras ishena shiro taidani agodiya diena injindia aindia ayana ndia sama ndela posa kasena askrniena alaro.
The state authorities, through the Ministry of Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, in the period under review, constructed 500 housing units, each at Delwa and Dara Jamal, 8 blocks of 102 bedroom at Mafa, and 500 units of 2 bedroom at Karnoa. Others include 500 housing units and renovation of existing houses at Termoa and construction of 2,000 transitional shelters at Ajiri and 1,000 each at Gwaniri, Dara Jamal, Maimti, Marte, and Kwebe, as well as construction of Banki Cattle Market. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
The Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, holds a comprehensive training program for 200 primary and secondary school teachers in Bauchi State as part of the initiative to revive the region's education sector, which was impacted by insurgency. Awal Abdullahi has details of the training meant to enhance both teaching and learning process.
Effective teaching and learning techniques on the skills and experience needed to delivering high-quality instruction for student learning is a reason behind the Northeast Teacher Training Initiative. Promotion of sustainable development in the region through the quality education is a key to this initiative by the Northeast Development Commission.
The educational sector in the Northeast had been severely devastated as a result of the Boko Haram incidents coupled with poverty. That is why Northeast Development Commission makes education a priority pillar and a key to sustainable development and peace building in the Northeast of region.
The program is not just in Bauchi State alone. It's undertaken across the Northeast states. It's an initiative that intends to empower the teachers in the Northeast geopolitical zones.
The participating teachers and school managers from 7 local government areas of the Bauchi South Senatorial District are expected to gain valuable skills and knowledge besides contributing to the overall development of the entire region. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
Now, in view of the complex security environment, aviation operational engagements, especially in support of counter-terrorism and banditry operations, demand not just capability, but an uncompromising adherence to safety standards. The Chief of Training Nigerian Army stated this in a message at a Nigerian Army aviation engagement in Giri, Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
In 2024, the Nigerian Army received the first batch of 2 helicopters equipped with advanced sensors to conduct various missions including reconnaissance, rescue, and medical evacuations. This is to enhance precision in attacking enemy camps and rapid response to emergency, with focus on improving Nigerian Army operational capabilities through effective safety management systems. The Nigerian Army Aviation organized this workshop on safety management systems to promote continuous improvement and build trust among operators, commanders, and stakeholders. It is to also ensure safety is embedded in mission planning, evacuation, and review.
Dynamics and areas nature of aviation, particularly military aviation, demands a safety culture that is deliberate, structured, and of course proactive.
Safety is the foundation of all aviation operations, and this workshop reflects our deliberate effort to institutionalize a culture of safety, accountability, and proactive risk management within the Nigerian Army Aviation.
The Nigerian Army Aviation stressed that the concept of safety management systems is a critical tool that underpins the ability to operate effectively while safeguarding personnel, platforms, and mission integrity. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police has deployed special forces and tactical operation teams to Benue State to reinforce existing units and effectively combat the recent surge in attacks and criminalities. These deployments follows President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's directive to all security agencies to rise to the challenge during his visit to the state. Charles Abba reports that the Commissioner of Police, Ifeanyi Menari, made this disclosure to the press in Makurdi.
Commissioner of Police, Benue State Command, Ifeanyi Menari, who assured Benue people of a more secured environment after the visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the state, affirmed that Yelwata community is now safe and peaceful.
We sincerely thank the President for his recent visit to Benue State to commiserate with the government and the people of the state over the unfortunate attacks that claimed the lives of innocent citizens. His physical presence during such a difficult time brought immense comfort and hope to the grieving communities.
He disclosed that aside 14 persons arrested for culpable homicide in Makurdi, there have been no cases of violence in most areas of security threats. The commissioner maintained that the deployment of special forces and tactical teams of the police force by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to the state has enhanced the relative peace in the state.
Many of them have been have already been deployed in the hinterlands, in the villages, in the towns, in any area that we perceive threat.
He added that 4 police personnel, however, paid the supreme price and 1 missing during the Yelwata massacre. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
We join Hingino in Lagos to take us through reports from that zone. Hello, Hingino.
And welcome to Lagos. The 21 Days Yellow Care and MTN Nigeria's Employee Volunteerism Initiative has rounded off its midterm community empowerment program for the year 2025 with a strong statement that focuses on bridging the digital divide and promoting its inclusion in communities where it operates. Ime Udori, who witnessed the grand finale, reports that empowerment tools were presented to beneficiaries while volunteers received awards for outstanding performances. Her report is here presented. Introduced in 2007 to deliver social impact through staff-led community projects, 21 Days Yellow Care have continued to strengthen MTN's image as a responsible corporate citizen, deepening employee engagement. This year's theme, Connecting at the Grassroots, provided digitizing care at the community level, building on the company's core belief that everyone deserves the benefit of a modern connected life. For 21 days, staff of MTN with volunteers committed to training, empowering while impacting people at the grassroots through digital literacy, content creation, financial inclusion, and AI-driven training in selected schools and health centers. Executive Director, MTN Foundation, said the idea is to empower Nigerians with real tool training to thrive in a connected world.
We've impacted multiple children in schools. We've set up women in businesses, preaching financial inclusion to them and showing them how to do these things. We'd like to thank our partners who walked this journey with us. And for us at MTN, Yellow Care is what we live every day. So we will continue in the spirit of giving.
Beyond spreading yellow smiles, the program, according to the Chief Operating Officer, MTN, was able to reach the grassroots, leaving behind impacts with up to 8,932 direct beneficiaries.
It's about putting those tools in the hands of people who need them every day. And I think this is what we have done.
Awards were also presented in various categories, recognizing the exceptional leadership roles demonstrated during the 21 days of Yellow Care. The Nigeria Police Force Microfinance Bank PLC shareholders have been assured of increase in dividends year on year from 12 kobo per share to 15 kobo per share for year ended 31st December 2024. Chairman Board of Directors Samuel Damilola Adebuyi gave the assurance during a presentation at the bank's annual general meeting in Lagos. Diana Ajale reports.
The bank's financial statement laid before the shareholders reposes 50 kobo per share as dividend payout for year 2024. Managing Director, NPF Microfinance Bank PLC, Habib Yusuf, highlighted the bank's achievements in the year under review and the need to balance returns on investment for shareholders who have been supporting the bank's growth.
It has been on the increase trajectory. And that is to further reassure you that we will continue to grow the dividend payments.
Chairman, Board of Directors, Nigeria Police Force Microfinance Bank PLC, said the proposal represents a payout ratio of 57% on profit after tax of 1.57 billion naira, which, according to him, will motivate shareholders of the bank.
In view of the global economic turbulence, we have been able to surmount.
Shareholders react to the annual financial report and the dividend payout.
We have been clamoring for an opportunity like this, and I'm very grateful for this AGM and for the dividend they declared.
Dividend of 15 kobo is very, very amazing because they made an honey of 26 kobo and they declared 15. That means to say they saved just 11.
Management of the bank say it is committed to sustainable growth that will lead the microfinance banking sector of the Nigerian economy by training and retraining talents to drive the bank's strategic goals, which includes advancement in technology, automation, take advantage of opportunities to improve earnings, profitability, as well as deliver returns to its loyal and dedicated shareholders. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
That's it from here. Maria Ado-Zakari is standing by with business news, but that will be after this break.
Welcome back to the news. Now let's talk business. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has sealed off France, Belgium, and Italy visa centers in Abuja. Sealing of the center, the Director Surveillance and Investigations Department of FCCPC, Boladale Adeyinka, said the move was due to the failure of the center to receive a letter to the Commission to investigate a consumer complaint as well as obstruction of investigation.
Consumers are still complaining about the services. And while we are still here, the Commission has received complaints regarding the services that are being rendered by the TLS. That underscores the reason why they need to appear before the Commission and explain the operations of TLS in Nigeria.
Brent oil prices fell more than 2% on Friday to $76.73 per barrel, while U.S. crude, the WTI, rose 4 cents to $75.18 per barrel, and Nigeria's Bonny Light crude remained tops at $78.62 per barrel, with a change of $2.30 from yesterday. Let's now see the prices of other commodities in the local and international markets. At the end of the last weekday of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, investors went home with 174.82 billion naira after a total of 522.8 million shares traded in 17,706 deals, valued at 19.6 billion naira. Today's data shows 42% decline in volume, 11% decline in turnover, but 3% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization is 74.5 trillion on the aggregate. 128 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 36 gainers and 27 losers. That's a wrap on Business Today. Back to Lami for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Maria. And now to the business of politics. All is now set for the formal grand rally to honor Akwa Ibom State Governor Umar Eno into the All Progressives Congress, APC. The event, which is scheduled to hold at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, Uyo, is to be graced by President Bola Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, the executive and other stakeholders of the APC. Oku Ekpenyong reports.
And grand reception in honor of Governor Moino is a rally to formally celebrate his defection to the All Progressives Congress. Former Senior Special Assistant to former President Muhammadu Buhari on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Itainang, says President Bola Tinubu is expected to lead the rally.
This is an opportunity for the formal reception of him into the APC family by the leader of the party. He's also taken steps to register with his ward in of the party.
Owing to some concerns that there is likely to be an internal crisis in the APC in Akwa Ibom State, arising from defections into the party and need for dominance as a result of the increase in membership, Senator Enang says,
we don't anticipate that we'll have fracas. We will have understanding. At every time that there appears to be a break in communication, we will re-establish communication and move on as APC.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Umoino, on the 6th of June 2025, defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Uyo. Oku Ekpenyong, NTA News.
We take another break for some messages. Bade will lead us into the exciting world of sports. It's over to you, Bade.
Many thanks, Lami. Let's begin with women's football as reactions have continued to trail the list of players released by Super Falcons head coach Justin Madogo as they vie for a 10th continental title at the 13th Women's Africa Cup of Nations finals to be staged from 5th to 26th of July in Morocco. The list released Friday morning confirmed the return of forward Asizato Shoala and midfield linchpin Halimatu Ainde, with regulars like captain Rashidata Jibade, goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadoze, and forward Francisca Odega also included, alongside a home-based trio. Most of the players on the list have been training in Abuja since Thursday, ahead of their departure to the final training camp in Lisbon, Portugal, on Sunday morning. Already, the Nigeria Football Federation has sealed friendly matches for the team, with the Portuguese counterparts in Lisbon on Monday, June the 23rd, and Black Queens of Ghana in Morocco on Sunday, 29th of June. And straight to the FIFA Club World Cup, where Chelsea collapsed to a 3-1 loss against Flamengo at the competition on Friday, as Nicholas Jackson was shown a straight red card only 4 minutes after coming on as a substitute. The result puts Flamengo 3 points clear of second-placed Chelsea in Group D, meaning they still have work to do to qualify for the knockout stages, despite beating LAFC 2-0 in the opening game in Atlanta. Earlier on Friday, Paris Saint-Germain fell to a surprise 1-0 defeat to Brazil's Botafogo after Igor Jesus' first-half strike decided the clash between Europe and, of course, South America's champions to put Botafogo on the brink of qualification for the knockout round, while Benfica hammered Auckland City 6-0 for their first win of the tournament. That's our beat on sports tonight. Let's now return to Lami.
Thank you so much, Buddy. Now, the death has occurred in Jos of engineer Da Yarubot Davu, the older brother of the Bungum Jos, His Highness Da Jacob Gyang Buba. Burial comes up on Monday, June 23, 2025, in his ancestral home, Du, in Jos House local government area, after a funeral service at Kokin LCC Bukuru. The death has also been announced of Mrs. Alice Obioma Fani of Esauke, Osun State. She was aged 72. Mrs. Alice Fani was a successful businesswoman, farmer and community leader who impacted many lives. She will be interred tomorrow, Saturday, 21st June 2025. Mrs. Fani is survived by 4 children and 11 grandchildren, among them Ms. Abiola Fani of the Office of the Inspector General of Police Special Investigation Unit. And here's an outlook on Saturday's weather prospects.
Thanks for joining us. For Saturday, while many areas can look forward to some dry spell, though there's still a bit of weather activities in the mix early in the day, there is a slim chance of morning thunderstorms over parts of Taraba, some parts of Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, and the Federal Capital Territory. These storms could bring moderate rainfall to some parts of the southeast coast, so it's wise to keep an umbrella handy if you're in that region. Later in the day, we are keeping an eye on the northeastern states down to the part of the central states, where we may see very isolated thunderstorms, possibly with or without rainfall. Nothing widespread, but enough to watch out for if you're planning to be out. Down south, moderate rains are likely to make their way through parts of Ogun, Ondo, some parts of Oyo, Ekiti, Edo Delta, and other parts of the southeastern region. Though again, these are expected to be mostly isolated. Thank you for watching.
And that brings us to the end of the news at this time. We thank you for being a part